Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the stream. Let's hop right on over to the game. Here we go. We are back for some Factorio. And let's just get things set up here. All right. Okay, so here we are, back on our Lazy Blob Turd run, and when I left, I think the next thing I was going to do was I was going to set up some... First of all, I want to set up a proper join here. There we go. Now, next thing I was going to do is I was going to hook up some copper smelting. I'm going to need more splitters for that, though. Let's go grab some splitters. Grab some undergrounds, grab some splitters. That will do. I'll probably need some belts as well. What are these guys short on? Iron. Well, I have some iron. Let's load them up with iron. That also needs some electronic circuits. So we'll probably need some more of those. All right, so next up, we want to fill in some of these guys. And we'll fill in some of these. Go just that far for now. Go. Got another little rock right there. That's fine. We'll leave that in there for now. All right, so let's run this across. That'll provide us with coal. So now we can start looking at getting some of this copper. So let's see, what's the best way to do this? Should I go vertically or horizontally? It's a weirdly shaped patch. I think I'm going to go vertically right here. I'll probably have the lines running downward. Out this way. Have that join up right over here. All right. Let's get some of these power poles going. So, now we'll get some copper on this line. Now let's run our those down there. Whoops. Alright, now we'll get the other side of this going. Run out of inserters, so I'm going to put them all in on the in-way first, so we can actually get the smelters going, because they can hold up to 100 apiece. And then I'll get some of these, probably the ones towards the back, actually outputting. And that's it right there. So actually that one I'm going to end up putting... I'll hold off. Keep one in my inventory in case that proves useful. And now I need to string a few of these power poles. And that's all my power poles. So I'll need to go and get some more power poles on the go. Meanwhile, I'll grab a bunch of this excess iron so I can load up some of these machines that need iron over here. So we need some iron right here. Iron right there. We need some copper right there. What do we need over here? Put some more of those in there. We need electronic circuits right there. Put the rest of them in here. Put in a bunch of iron plates. I need those inserters and those mining drills. While I wait, how am I doing on power now? Still doing fine on power. That's good. Let's head on up north here, grab some more of those stone. This miner is all out of coal. I'm all out of coal. I'm so lost without it. Alright. Oh, geez, I don't have a lot of coal in my inventory either. Oh, that's fine. We definitely have a source of plenty of coal right over this way. Now, yeah, I was going to set up a dedicated line for the smelting over here as well. So, I think I'm going to do that while I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to start this one right here. I'm going to need to move these guys. I think I can actually just rip this up and be done with it. I don't think I need any more of that style of bootstrap coal mining operation anymore. So, run this down here. And then I'm going to run this, whoops, got bumped aside. Run this down here, and then I'm going to take out this splitter, and there we go. So now power has a dedicated coal line, and we've got, oh, I need electric poles as well. Pop right down here, and I'm gonna have this make wood. Let that churn away for a little while. Grab a sip of tea. In the meantime, up here, what do we got? We got a few of these, we got a few of these. Let's grab all these transport belts because we're going to need lots of those. We'll grab some of these as well. What are they short on now? Electronic circuits and iron. Well, I've got lots of iron. I can Give that a full load of iron. Give that a full load of iron. Not swimming in the electronic circuits, though. Ooh, I have lots of stone, yes. I went and grabbed all that stone. So let's put all that in the chest so we can get some more of these stone furnaces. This guy here. Excuse me. I'm getting a little phlegmy, apparently. And now let's switch this over to small electric poles. Pop everything it needs in there. So churning away on the science over here. I should probably, what I'm going to do is hook up something here to make some iron sticks. Load that up. And then I'm going to have another one right over here. I'm going to make some lamps. Fill it up with that, fill it up with that. This way I can start lighting up the world. It's daytime now, so those things aren't going to turn on. That's fine. Oh, apparently we can only hold 2 lamps in here at a time. So I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to use up another inserter to start storing these, because I want to be able to come by and pick up a bunch of lamps. I need to grab all of these. Put some more wood in there, get some more poles. Put that in my inventory. Take the electric poles, put them down here. I'm going to need some more of these. I need some more inserters as well. Absolutely. Oops, no, we don't want that. We're short on electronic circuits. That's the big hold up here. So half there, half there. What am I doing on those? Okay, I got 10 electric mining drills. Alright, fluid handling's finally done. I'm going to go ahead and get military tech, because even though I don't need the weaponry, I want those grenades. Sweet, sweet forestry implements. Alright, we're doing okay on belts now. So, I'm going to run on over here. We're going to get some of these small electric poles on the go so we can get this whole array hooked up. Alright, so that whole array of copper is set up. So now we've got iron and copper on the go. So, I think it's about time to start thinking about where exactly our bus is going to go. So first of all, let's set this up like this. Put in a lane balancer here as well. Put this wrong way. All right, so I think the bus, I'm gonna want it to head just to the east of, well, no, not just to the east, because we've got some oil up above here, and I don't want to go clean through the oil patch. So I think what I should do is I should, oh, here we go. All right, we can do some, oh, let's research heavy armor, not because I need the armor, but because I want to get modular armor so that I can increase my inventory. So I gotta start working my way towards that. All right, so if I want my bus to run sort of just to the east of this. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, oh, no, 2 spaces. So I need space, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, space, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, space, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more set, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my general thinking is we're going to have iron, possibly 2 iron, copper, green circuits, and then we'll have some random items here, maybe stone, stone brick, coal we might have on one line of the bus. I'm actually going to put in one more just for safety's sake. And then from here on over, this is going to be where we're going to have the mall and so on. So, it's starting to get dark. When I get back to the base, I'll place some of these lamps now. So this is going to be the leftmost edge of this bus. So I'm going to need to take down some of these trees. And this is where the iron will flow. Whoops. Okay, now right here, I'm going to want an iron balancer. So we're going to go, I'm going to want 2 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these. Is that what it looks like? Most people build these a billion zillion times, but I have not. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I didn't need this balancer right here. That threw the whole thing off a little bit. Okay. So. There we go. That's a little better. Like that and like that. There, there's a 4x4 balancer. So now we can run our iron line in here. All of our iron line lines will go in here, get balanced, head on up. At the moment, this is going to be a bit of a fake bus because it's going to only have the one line that is actually serviced, but that's fine. So next I want to go and I want to pull down. Ooh, something's hinky about the throughput here. Have I done my 4x4 balancer wrong? Oh no, seems to be getting full throughput now. I was just I think it just needed all the lanes to back up. I think that was the problem there. The 4x4 balancer is, yep, that's exactly what I'm running. Yeah, just I know there's a version. If you take off these splitters on the end here, it balances okay, but you lose throughput if you only have some of the input lanes being fed. So I want to make sure I avoided that, but I seem to be fine on that right now. So next I want to go see where my copper line is going to be, the first line of copper. I'm going to leave the one next to the iron in case I want to put a second line of iron. I'm not going to have enough iron for that right now, but I'll leave it available just in case. As I said, I don't really want this to turn into a main bus base where the whole thing is running off of this main bus, but for the near future, I think probably the safest way to do it is like that. Okay, so why don't I just get out my blueprint book? That's probably a good thing for me to do. Let's pop that down here on my early game blueprint, so I can pop down this 4x4 balancer and then just fill it in. All of these blueprints that I've done, these were blueprints that I put together in my last game. I built them all by hand. I didn't import any blueprints. I didn't necessarily design them all myself because especially when it comes to these balancer designs, there are far smarter people than me who have designed these guys, and let me just make sure I leave enough space here to get all of my iron lines into here. Strip that back a little bit. And so then this one's got to go up 3 and over 1. Oops, wrong way. I don't want to actually place it right now. No sense wasting the belts right at the moment. There we go. So that means that this one can come down all the way to here. Perfect. And so now the copper flows. All right. So right on up here. So my plan was to have steel assembly over here somewhere, probably just south of and behind this little mini oil patch over here. Which means that right over here would probably be a great place for the mall. So, is the mall in my early game blueprint book? No, it's probably in my mid game blueprint book. So, let's get that one out as well. There's the mall. So the mall is basically a big build everything station. And let's hold off on that for a second, because I kind of want to come in here So the mall has just about everything that we could want, but there are things that are in this blueprint. Oh, I can't actually zoom in on that. There are things in this mall blueprint that I don't want to get built. Specifically, I don't want the requester chests or the active provider chests. Now, I'm probably not even going to bother researching them, so that'll be one piece of safety, I guess, for this. But all the same, I want to make sure that things are as safe as they can be. Are these the... I think I'll just leave it alone for now because I don't want to go removing sections of the mall that I'm actually going to need. So I'll just wait until I have more of these things researched, but I still don't have those other two researched, and then I can figure out where that goes. I could go, I guess, and remove all of the requester chests from this mall. So I think I'm going to do that because I know I'm never going to have them in this particular playthrough. So we'll get rid of all the requester chests. Now we're going to have some extra inserters hanging around, but I can figure out where those go. Yeah, we'll stick with that for now. So, yes, the mall is sort of a big build everything kind of place. I want to rotate this around. Everything that we might want is built in the mall, and we can just, when we need things, we can just come on over here and just go shopping. So I think this will work just fine. I'm going to plop it down right here. There we go. Now, these are combinators. I think I need to go into my options. There's graphics. Show combinator settings when detailed info is on. Resume. There we go. So now my combinators here will show me what I need in the mall. So I need iron on this line and on this line. And this line needs to be half copper and half steel. I don't have steel set up yet, but that's okay. So let's start getting some of these things set up. So first of all, I'm going to drag some of these down so I know exactly where my lanes are, my bus lines. All right, so that's where that goes. So now, how many? Oh yeah, I've got 448 transport belts. I think I can probably afford to fill in one more line of this because I think I'm going to take from one line. So when you take resources from the bus, it leaves less stuff on the bus, and that's why bus setups are kind of weird in the sense that it can be difficult to, if all you do is you just keep taking stuff off the bus and you never replenish the bus, then after a while, your bus will really start to run dry of those resources. So I get a little bit, I'm a little bit more wary now that I sort of understand those mechanics, than I was when I first started playing, and I just thought, oh great, I'll set up a bus and then I can always just take stuff off the bus and everything will be just fine. Things are not that simple. But what I can do is, oh my, our iron line is very, very full here right now. These might actually be longer than it's actually correct. No, I think these are okay, but we do need to do a little trick like this. So that allows for more things to be placed on the line. Now, right now, this is not being used at a full rate either, so all right, so we're going to want a lane of copper coming this way. So what we're going to want is so we got one going that way, and then our other lane of copper is going to come right along here. And at various times, we're going to need a lot of iron going to the mall. At the moment, we only have one lane of iron actually feeding all this. We'll fill in more of the smelting later. Oh my. What do we need here? Turrets, maybe? Stone walls? Bullet damage is not that useful. We really need to get up to green science soon. Let's just get some stone walls for now. Yeah, we will need a fair bit of iron coming into the mall, so I think I'm going to pull off of... I think I'm going to essentially devote 2 full lines to the mall. So one is going to go right there, and then I'm going to have... So that's going to go right there. Oh, this is our last underground, which means we need more undergrounds. I'm going to need to go pick those up. Now, I mean, I could allow this whole thing to go... I could actually just have this lane, this entire lane turning off, and then we just wouldn't have a lane coming up here. But I think I'm going to leave it like this, and actually, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm even going to pop that there like this, and then after this I'm going to have a balancer, but out of the balancer I'll only have 3 lines coming rather than 4, to denote the fact that, or possibly even just 2 lines coming out, to denote the fact that I've already pulled 2 lines off of this. That way, when the mall backs up, as it will sometimes, because the mall is not always using materials, then we'll still have some of that flowing forward. But I don't want to give a false impression of there being more iron than there is, which I'm already kind of doing because I have 4 lanes here and only 1 lane feeding it, but, you know. So, I need to pick up some more transport belts as well. Getting rather low on transport belts. Let's grab all of these iron plates. Let's grab all these lamps. These turrets continuing to go, so we need some of these undergrounds. No splitters because we don't have enough circuits, and we're low on circuits because we need that guy right there. Pop them all in there. Inserters. Again, circuits, 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 circuits. Circuit City. Yeah, grab some splitters, and I need some of these guys right here. I need to... Yeah, that's all the stuff I had in my inventory. Alright, that research is finished. Alright, not going to worry about that right now. Grab some copper plates, though, because I want to drop these off in the green circuit assembly. Because we need more of those. Quite badly. I'm going to need more of these guys pretty desperately. Oh, we need more iron plates as well. This will be much easier once we get them all set up. Speaking of, we're also going to need more assembling machines. So I should probably set up something here and start churning out the assembly machines. That's, I think that's the next thing I'm going to do right here as a... no, actually I'm going to leave that. I'm going to do it up here. In the mall. I think the mall definitely has assembly machines 2 in it. Yes. So I am going to actually set up that particular assembly here in the mall. That's going to be one of the first things I'm going to get going. Although I'm going to need to feed in electric circuits for that. So yeah, it will take a little bit. Yeah, no, I'm gonna need to do something else, I think. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to hook up some green circuits. Whoops. Right here. So this is a green circuit array. So I want to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And put that down right there. And then put this down right here. Oops. I need to go right there because I'm pulling off of copper. And I think I've made a mistake, so I'm going to race the copper up here. Because the copper's not supposed to go on both sides of the line. It's supposed to go on just one side of the line. Yeah, and I've gone and done this. Gone and done this, which is not right. So what we want is instead we want this to go kind of like this. There we go. So that's going to just feed onto the one side of that line, and then we're going to have steel feeding into the other side of the line. And we'll get this going here. So where do we have our assembly machines? That's way up here. So we have assembly machine 1 goes right here. And then assembly machine 2's happen right here. But I'm definitely going to need to go and do a little bit of temporary assembly machine 2 crafting first. So there's the outside lanes of the copper. And that should end up correctly on here, which means we flow right on over here. Yeah. Okay, so I'll get some assembly machines. I'm going to need at least 10, 15. I'm going to need about 20 assembly machines. So I'll go grab 20 or so assembly machines so I can set up at least one little setup of green circuits up here. That'll be enough to get the mall sort of bootstrapped. Once the mall is building us stuff, then things will get much, much easier. Then I can start setting up my proper green circuit setup way down south here, and I can also start to build out the rest of my smelting to get lots more material onto this starter bus here. All right. All right, so put this down. First thing I want are assembly machine 1s, which means I need one of these guys set up, one of these guys, one of these guys. I'm going to put a box right here. In here, I'm going to put a whole bunch of iron. And we'll grab a bunch of copper as well, because the copper's probably backed up over here. Yep. All right, inventory full. All right, all full up on useful things and stuff. All right, so we'll come on down here and get ourselves a whole bunch of assembly machines. Fill that up there. All right. That can't actually hold very many, so I need to have those coming straight into my assembly machine 2 builder. Now I'm all out of assembly machine 2s. Okay. probably repurpose this guy. Yeah, I'll repurpose this guy to be another assembler of gears. So many gears, always necessary. And then we'll put another box right here. And then we'll put a bunch of iron in there. So now we just need more green circuits, because of course we do. Oh, and we need just a bunch of iron. And then I'd better put those out into a box. There we go. That'll churn away for a little while. Gonna need more green circuits, I think. Need more of these. I'm gonna need more of these guys here too. But they need green circuits. Of course they do. Everything needs green circuits. Well, the assembly machines are by far the most important right now, because I'm doing okay on inserters at the moment. Gonna need to go grab more belts, I think, as well. This guy here is missing those. This guy here, of course, needs green circuits. 8 assembly machine 2s. I need bare minimum 10, but really if I want to actually hook up anything useful, I'm going to need at least 15 or 20. Probably aim for 20. So, why is this guy not operating now? He's short on actual iron. Let's keep those guys topped up. Quite a mess I have going on here, but once the mall is set up and actually producing things like belts and splitters and undergrounds, then I can basically stop making them over here. Likewise, once I have electric mining drills and inserters being done over there, I can get rid of these. Once I have these assembly machines being done here, I can get rid of these, and I'll be able to get rid of the green circuits once I have green circuits being manufactured automatically. Keep these topped up on iron. We're at 16 assembly machine 2s. Why is this not operating? That's not operating because of that, and that's not operating because of that. Go grab some more of this iron. So much hand feeding of machines when playing through this particular, trying to get this particular achievement. So let's see, if I need 10 to hook up my first little green circuit array, then there's supposed to be 9 assemblers of gear wheels to begin with, but I can probably get away with, I mean, even just 3, but probably 6 is what I should have. So that'll be 16, and then I need 3 for the belts, which is 19, and the 2 assembler levels which is 21. So I'm going to need at least 21 before I can really hook up what's up there. Oh, I've got 22 now. So 23. I'll grab a couple more and then we'll head up and start hooking up the stuff up near the mall. Okay. All right, so now we should have, there we go. We've got 26 assembling machine 2s. On my way past here, I'll grab some more of these, some more of these, some more of these. Those will all be helpful. All right, I think we should be okay now for a little while. So, up here we go to start hooking up green circuits. This is going to be sort of a temporary green circuit production. I don't want my green circuit production to actually be coming off of the bus because green circuits use so many materials. I want them to have their own dedicated stuff. But for the time being, just to bootstrap the mall, that's very important in this kind of a playthrough because... Oh, I forgot we need red. We need red inserters, the long-handed inserters. Oh my. Oh my god, I can't believe I've done this. Oh, well, actually, but they just need inserters, so I can hand feed those. So what I can do is I can actually set those up right here in the mall. So I've got regular inserters, long-handed inserters. Regular inserters, long-handed inserters. Good. Good. Now they'll need some green, of course, they need green circuits. Oh, but the long-handed inserters are just needed for the output here, so I can get away without them for now. So, oh shoot. And we want this and this. There. And we'll want this, 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 this and this, this and this, 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 this. Oh shoot, that. So now I'm gonna want copper cable, copper cable, copper cable, green circuit, green circuit, green circuit, green circuit. So this is copper cable. Boop, boop. We'll insert that recipe there. This is green circuits. I'll put this right here, this right here, all right, so this has got to be a line of copper coming off here. So we're going to need, come off the second line here, I think. So I think I'm going to pull both of the copper lines because I'm not going to have a lot of setup over here. And I'm going to pull both of the copper lines off of the one belt for this temporary... Oops. Okay, and so now we need that guy right there, there, there. So now we have copper flowing to both sides here. I want to get this hooked up to some power so we can start getting a few of these in place. There we go, that's connected, I think. No, it's not connected. Where are we missing it? Oh, right here. We're not actually. We've got no connection right here. There we go. Now we're feeding copper cable into here. So next we need iron. Oh, and we're all out of undergrounds. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, what we could do is we can start hooking up this little array right here, because I think, oh no, we still need green circuits for that. All right, we have to walk back. Oh, and since I'm walking back at night, I'm going to take this opportunity to actually fill in some of the lamps that I've been saying I was going to fill in for a while. Make things a little easier to see. All right, so what was I going to do? Right, I need some green circuits. I need to load that up. Load that up as well. Why is this not operating? That needs more of this. So we need lots of underneathies. I'm going to need some of these transport belts as well. And let's grab some of these. This guy is totally expended. Pull him up permanently, I think. All right, we are getting a few more items here. Okay, that's all the underneathies we can get right now. All right, let's continue getting this set up. Oops, didn't want to place that there. So after the mall here, I'm gonna actually set up one of these guys. And then I'm only going to have 3 lines coming out. I'm only going to have these 3 lines coming out of here to signify the fact that I expect that one full lane has been used up by them all. I'm actually going to get this going over here. So these guys are all gear wheels. One of those right there, one of those right there, one of these right here, one of these right here, 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 and here. Okay. Now, we're going to want okay, so now we can start moving our gear wheels right here along the line. Okay, so we're gonna need that. So we need one of these, one of these. Next we need to run power. That close enough to be connected? Yep. Good. 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 Now, I don't have any iron chests at the moment, so I think I'm just going to have to pop these guys into wooden chests for the time being, which is not ideal. But, gotta do what you gotta do. One right there, one right there. And then we're also going to need one coming right along there. And we need to power this guy. And then the last piece of the puzzle here is that I need to prime that with a few of those. There we go. Now I've got some long-handed inserters, so now I can put one here to actually direct insert from this guy. Oh, but this guy needs green circuits. just fill him in with a bunch of green circuits. That will give us what we need there. So now I have enough long-handed inserters that I can get these green circuits flowing onto the line. Go right there. So this is meant to be my green circuit line. So I'm actually going to just join that right onto here. And then let's back that up a little bit. I still need more undergrounds. More undergrounds. Alright, well, let's get some of this hooked up here. So, splitters on the top, undergrounds on the bottom. These, undergrounds, splitters. Couple of wooden boxes right here. Over here, I think I need to, yeah, I need to limit these and these. Same right here. And right here. Here, I actually want to change this to make some wood. Okay, so we're all set there now. We're going to need our green circuits on this line coming along here. So got some more underneath these. I want to come in, oops, wrong spot, here, 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 and So we'll keep filling in the mall here. This should keep us flush in inserters and long-handed inserters for some time, hopefully, give or take. Now, one thing that I don't think is in this mall, could be wrong, but I don't think it is stone furnaces. I do not have stone furnaces in this mall, which is unfortunate. So, I think that's something that I'm going to need to set up here as a part of the mall in some capacity. So stone comes in on this line here, so I think I'm actually going to put it on the outside of the mall. So this is going to be sort of like a mall extension. This is like the annex. If you've ever been to a mall with an annex, this is what we've got right here. So this guy right here is going to be making me stone furnaces. And those are going to go into a wooden box up to 2 stacks at a time. And we'll pull stone off of this line. So that's all set to go once we are ready for it. Now, grab these inserters, grab these long-handed inserters. Not a lot of green circuits being made right now, but it's enough to feed what little we have at the mall at the moment. So now, I also wanted to get the assemblers on the go here, because we will need those. So that's going to be an assembler level 2. Okay, and this goes right here. Alright, so now, grab the long-handed inserter, and there. Grab a regular inserter right there, 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 and there. Now get everything powered. I also don't think I have wooden power poles in this particular mall, so I'll probably need to get that on the go as well. I don't have wood feeding into this mall. That's probably the main reason that I never bothered putting wooden power poles coming into this mall, but until I get steel hooked up, I am going to need the wooden power poles for a little while longer. that guy. This is going to be fast inserters. Going out to a chest right there. We'll limit that to 2 stacks. What you have? Oh, iron. Fill that in right there. So this guy right here. Oh, so that's probably supposed to go to a chest right there. Why isn't that in the diagram then? That's odd. Oh, you know what I need? I need more chests. Seven wooden chests. Let's limit that to a couple of stacks. Not sure where these were supposed to output to. I guess right here. They're just being passed straight along, but anyway, I'm going to put a chest right there, limit it to 2 stacks, and have that going right there. A little unclear on where that was supposed to go, but that's fine. Those, and get these. So now I have lots of assembler 2s being made. Alright. And while I'm here, I'd better get this hooked up as well to do electric miners. That limited. Very important to limit the boxes, otherwise you end up using up all of your materials very quickly. And that's running. Okay, so we've got that. Grab some more of these. So now I can begin hooking up some other random stuff. I could just start hooking up random stuff in the mall, but I feel like the next goal really needs to be getting some green science up and running. Although I do need some more electric poles. So let's first switch this guy over to making these wooden electric poles. Fill in everything I need for those. Yeah, that'll have to do for... And that probably won't do for now. Okay. Let's load that up with some more wood. What we can do is we can actually hook something up right here, where we pull in copper from right there, and we pull in wood from right there, and we put it all in a box, limited to a couple of stacks, and it'll pull from a box. Oh no, we can't pull copper straight off the line. What am I thinking? What we'll do is we'll pull this out of here. Right there, and then right here. Right there. Right there. So this guy is making small electric poles. This guy is making wood. And we're going to grab the wood from right here. Take all the raw wood. This guy here is going to make these guys. We don't want those going out. We want these going out. There we go. Get some small electric poles on the go. That will do just fine. All right. Ooh, it's dark up here. Let's get some lights on the go right over here, over here. Yeah, so ooh, we're really low on our on these guys right here. So let's get that going. There we go. Now I've got 6 of those running, which should be enough for right now. Obviously the iron coming in on this line is not nearly enough, but that's due to the fact that we don't have a whole lot of iron coming into the system in the first place. So we will need to hook up more iron. In fact, I'm going to go do that right now. I'm going to hook up an entire second line of iron. Oh, hey, Apocrypha. Sorry, I didn't see your messages there. I got a little, I was a little sucked into the game there. Yeah. You can lay down blueprints by... There are a couple of ways to lay down blueprints. So you can lay down individual items by just... If you grab an item and then you shift-click it, then it lays down sort of a little ghost. So that's good for spacing and stuff like that. You can also have blueprints and blueprint books. So I have this blueprint here, for example, that... you know, I can place this where I want. I can shift-click it, and it makes one of these little ghosts here. Now, I don't currently have robots, so when I have if I had robots, then they would go and build this for me. Since I don't, all the blueprint helps me do is sort of figure out the spacing and so on. But then I have to build it by hand. So later game, I will definitely have some robots on the go doing lots of building for me. But for now, I'm just going to be doing this myself. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'll place these guys right down here. And disconnect that, which disconnects the whole lot of them for the second. All right. Yeah, I'm making some progress here. I have, oops, where's my map? There's my map. Yeah, so you can sort of see in the map view here. I don't have many radars, so I can't see a lot. But this is my little sort of bootstrap base where I was building a lot of stuff to begin with. Now I've got some mining going and the smelting area over here. So I have some iron and copper being smelted. Then that's heading up to my shopping mall up here, which is where I'm sort of building everything that I might need to grab. So anytime I need supplies, I don't need to plop down a little crafter and craft them anymore. They're all just kind of ready there for me. So I've got that much going there, so that should just about feed this line. So then I can have more iron coming in on the line. Get this iron hooked up, and then I think I'll be ready to actually start looking at hooking up green science, well, automated red science first, something a little bit better than I started out in my little starter base, and then automated green science so that I can start getting some higher level techs. And then I think the next thing I'll need to do is set up some steel processing. I need more stuff. Let's go to the mall. Ooh, this is dark. I'm gonna plop down some lights along here. Oops. A few of these, there we go. So, here in the mall, we have a box of inserters waiting for us. Good. How are we doing on these other things? Yeah, I'll grab some more transport belts. That should be plenty for a while. Some splitters, some undergrounds. Yeah, now we should be good on those for a while. Also going to grab a bunch of miners and a bunch of assembling machines. So, oh, and probably some power poles too. There's probably a bunch of power poles waiting for us now. Wow, 411. Perfect. All right. How dangerous are the biters? Well, in this game, the biters won't be dangerous at all because I have enemy bases set to none. And so I shouldn't see any biters whatsoever. Ordinarily, the biters, they're kind of... when you're playing in a regular game with biters fully enabled, the biters increase in how dangerous they are based on how much pollution you're putting out. So, oops. So if you take a look at my map here, I can turn on my pollution view, and you can see I have this pollution cloud that's spreading from all the stuff that I'm doing right here. And so if I had biter bases turned on, probably out here right around the edges of my vision, you would see a few little splotches of red. Those would be biter bases. And if this pollution cloud were to hit that biter base, it will encourage them to come and attack me. And also, it encourages them to evolve. And so the more you pollute the environment, the more the biters will evolve, and eventually you'll get spitters coming your way, and they'll get giant worms, which are sort of siege units that that protect their own base and so on. So then their bases get difficult to take out, and you have to go take out their bases to make headway. Playing with the biters can be pretty fun. I didn't want them turned on in this game because it also takes a long time. It slows down things tremendously to have biters in the game because you have to sort of fight for every inch of the map, so to speak, to then be able to expand your base and get more stuff. And as interesting as that is, in a game where I'm already slowing myself down considerably with the limitation of not being able to handcraft things, it would just slow down the game a bit too much for my tastes. Could you do a green base? I mean, it is difficult to do a base that is, or it's impossible to do a base that doesn't pollute at all, but you can reduce the pollution level considerably. You can, number one, you can get solar power. So again, I'm skipping that in this game because I'm going for the Steam all the way achievement. So that means no solar panels producing power for me. But you can use solar panels, and they produce, I think they do produce a tiny bit of pollution, but it's very, very little. You can also create things called efficiency modules at one point in the game, and they reduce the power needs for your factory overall, as well as reducing the pollution that things with the efficiency modules put out. So some people choose to play that way. It's not really sort of a viable option for playing as effectively as possible, I guess you could say, but some people like to sort of role play that they're trying to be environmentally friendly during this game, and so they will try to work to curb their pollution as much as possible. Geese with Scarf says, I think there might be an achievement for that. I don't think there's an achievement for running a green base, no. There's an achievement for producing a certain number of green circuits, which is a tricky one to get. I managed to get that one, but it's took a long time. Alright, so I've got 2 full smelter lanes of iron up and running now. So now I think the next thing I'm going to do is set up red and green science production. I'm also going to need some labs as well, because I have just the one lab down south, but that is not going to cut it. So I think I'm going to come over here. Labs are probably way off to the right of my mall here somewhere. I'm going to fill in the lab production, I think. Where? Did I never set up lab production in the mall? I guess I didn't. I thought I did. I thought I set it up way over here somewhere. I have radar production over here. I should probably get that going too. This one is meant to be radars. And it needs a bunch of stuff. I need to run the lines a long way this way to get that going. I should double check my power situation too. Press T to start new research. Yeah, I'm not researching anything at the moment because right now the only researches I have left that only need red science beakers are combat, bullet damage and stuff like that. And again, with biter bases turned off, that's totally meaningless to me. This military 2 I do want, because I want these grenades to help with deforestation efforts. Also, I need to get military science unlocked, because that is actually necessary for some of the things you need to launch the rocket to win the game. So I do want to get this military science, but most of these other ones I don't care about. So once I start getting green science beakers as well, then I can start unlocking a lot of these great things, including oil processing, medium and big electric poles, the faster transport belts, solar energy, which I'm not going to be using solar energy this time, but I do need to still build solar panels because they're a part of the satellite that goes on board the rocket. And I can also increase my tool belt, increase my lab research speed, and so on. There's a bunch of other technologies that take green, like railway. So getting trains is going to be fun. Once I get some trains on the go, then I can start shipping products all over the map. And also it's required to get up to flight, which is necessary for all of these robots, the construction robots and the logistics robots, which are very, very useful. Although you can unlock construction robots with green science, you actually need blue science to really start making effective use of them. So how big is the world map? There is a limit on it, programmatically speaking, but effectively it is unlimited. It's limited only by the size of, or by what your PC can handle the update for, as well as how much memory you're willing to take up in your save files, because the more of the map you uncover, the more processing is done, especially if there's biters. I won't have it so bad because there's no biters being processed out here, so the update really is just wherever my factory pieces live. But also the more of the map you uncover, the bigger your save file gets, because basically the save file just has it contains a detailed description of everything you can see, because you may have changed that by mining ores and so on, and then a map seed, which was used to generate the rest of the map as you uncover it. So the more you have uncovered, the bigger your save file gets. Yeah, it is sort of infinite-ish. People have done tricks or used console commands to essentially get to the end of the world, so to speak. But it's not something that you'd ever do in regular play. There's not really any reason to, other than the fact that the farther you go away from your spawn, the bigger the ore patches get, the more dense they are, sorry. So like I have resources turned up pretty high, so I have some pretty big ore patches here anyway. 7 million iron ore, 4.8 million iron ore, 8.2 million iron ore, 2.7 million copper, 25 million copper. But as you go farther and farther away, the ore patches get denser and denser, so you don't have to go replacing them as often. They'll run for longer before they run out of ore. So some people actually, if they're playing without biters especially, some people like to start their game and then they immediately just pick a direction and start running, and they'll just run for 5 minutes to get to some much bigger ore patches and then set up their starter base right there. I just prefer to just turn up the ore density in the map settings, and then I can actually start my starter base where I am. And then later on, when I get trains on the go, then I can build some train lines that go far away and tap some of those very dense ore patches that are farther away. It's not uncommon once you get far enough away to start seeing ore patches that are 1 billion ore in density. So those will last a very long time in game time. All right, let's run this all the way over. Yes, you do get movement speed enhancements. So there's something that I'll be able to unlock once I get my science levels. Oh, I can't actually bridge that with this level of undergrounds. Oh, that's too bad. All right, so radars are going to wait. Yes, you can get speed enhancements. So number one, you can build cars and tanks. Trains also can go a lot faster than your human, but also there are technologies that I will be unlocking that let you equip armor. And once you get modular armor and then later power armor, you can actually get exoskeletons. And so the exoskeletons you place on your armor along with some source of power, like a fusion reactor, for example, and then that lets you the exoskeletons let you run faster, and they stack. So as many exoskeletons as you can fit in your armor, which I think the max is something like 5 or 6 exoskeletons in your armor, it will increase your speed so you can run a whole lot faster. Also, you can make stone bricks and concrete bricks, and sort of pave your factory with them, and those provide a 30% boost in movement speed. Or I think concrete is 30% and stone bricks is 20% or 10%, something like that. So so yeah, you can get moving pretty fast when you have all of those upgrades. Oh yeah, this game is super, super deep. I mean, my very first map I played for about 15 hours, made a whole lot of mistakes, learned a lot from those mistakes. Then I started a new game, and in that game I played for well over 80 hours. I launched several rockets, got space science going. Once you launch a rocket, you start collecting space science. That starts giving you white science packs, which don't even show up in the research here, and it unlocks infinite research. So there are certain things like worker robot speed, mining productivity here. The research levels can just go on infinitely for them. So eventually you can get to crazy points where you're getting 4 or 5 times the amount of ore out of your miners because of mining productivity. Your worker robots are flying around like a swarm of bees. It gets pretty nuts. But yeah, this game is incredibly deep. And everybody has their own way of playing it, which is one of the things I love about it. Some people love playing on death worlds, so with the biters turned up to their most aggressive and fastest evolution rate, and you're basically scraping to survive. Other people like playing normal and just sort of pushing back against the biters and walling themselves off, but you do still have to fight the biters to expand. Other people like to just focus on building their factories and coming up with sort of interesting solutions to the logistical problems of trying to bring your factory up at scale and things like that. What was I? Oh yeah, I was going to hook up some assembly for labs. So we need electronic circuits, iron gear, wheels, and transport belts. So yeah, we need to have, so electronic circuits are over on this side. So I think the best thing to do, yeah, there's nothing being built over here. I'm just gonna pop this over here because I think it is actually safe for me to do that right now. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna put one right there. Build some labs right there. I can't bring iron up on this side because I need to bridge this gap, which is too far. But I can bring iron up from this side. There we go. This here, bring this along here, and this along here, here. Need one of these here. There we go. Whoops. My bad. Ah. Go along and place some of these so I don't accidentally belt over them. Here, here, here. In here, these in here. Oh, it's getting dark again. I'm gonna need to start plopping down the lights. I don't have power run over here yet. I'll get some lights here shortly. And we'll get this running over this way, and this running over this way, and here we go. So this should be what I need right here. So what do we need? Oh yeah, I also need to run my gear wheels all the way down here. That's gonna take a while. All right, well, first of all, let's get these, and these, and these, and these, and these. All right, gear wheels, I'm coming for you. Hopefully I don't need to bridge any gaps that are too long for these short undergrounds, because I don't have the next level unlocked yet. And I do. Dang it. All that work, and now I can't come any further. Well, I guess the other thing I can do for now is stand right here and pick up gear wheels off the belt myself. That gives me 66. I'll grab a few more. All right. Yeah. So now I can just hand feed this to these assemblers up here. Oh, I guess I should probably bring across some power as well. Most of these power poles over here are meant to be the medium electric poles, but I do not yet have medium electric poles unlocked, so for the time being I will simply place some of these small power poles. Across here. Well, this takes transport belts too. Oh, jeez. Well, let's... We don't need more than 2 stacks of labs. That'll do fine. And 2 stacks of radar will also do just fine. All right, so bring myself right back over here. I'm going to run a power pole. So radars are something that, again, is very, very important when you have biters in the game. When I don't have biters in the game, it's not as important. Radars do 2 things. So number 1, they give me vision on an area from the map view. So if I come into the map view, you can sort of see that if I try to look down here at my bootstrap base now, I can't see anything, right? It's this sort of stylized version of this. Yeah, yeah. This setup here is kind of, this is a blueprint that I developed in my previous game that I put like 80 hours into, and then brought over into this game. So if you were starting out fresh, you probably wouldn't plop down a blueprint like this. You'd probably start much simpler, like with something closer to what I have in my bootstrap base, and then just sort of build it up, and probably have a lot of belts looking like spaghetti, as I did in my first base. And then you learn a whole bunch, and I watched a few streamers to get some inspiration, but I didn't take any builds directly. Anyway, the radar, yes. So radar gives you vision here, number one. So me standing somewhere also gives me vision, but if I walk farther away, like let's say I could come down here, well out of range of being able to see them all, and then I press M to bring up the map view. Now I can see around me, but I can now also see up here because the radar gives me coverage. But the other thing is that radar, so you can see this little notch that came out here, radar will on a regular basis uncover areas on the map out beyond where you have been, out to a certain radius. So if you basically cover your map with radar, so you can see there's another little square that just appeared thanks to the radar. And for a very brief time, I can actually zoom right in on it. Then that'll go away shortly. So over time, the radar will show me everything that's here. So if there were biters in the game, I would want to have lots of radars around so I could see the biter bases that were closest to me and know where the most likely attacks are going to come from. I'd also want to see exactly how far my pollution cloud spread. In my game, I'm basically going to be using it for this ability to zoom in on the map view, because from the map view, you can do things like shift-click to drop down a blueprint. And once I have bots, that's going to be very useful. Once I have a bunch of construction bots flying around, I'll be able to drop a blueprint from the map view, and my bots will go and automatically build it for me, and I don't have to go running across my base. So that becomes very, very useful in mid and late game to have lots of radars everywhere. In the early game, I just want to have a few around just to mostly to start showing me what's out on these edges around here, so that if there's a really great patch of something or other, then I know that that might be a good direction to start going in to set up some of my outposts for more goods. Yeah, Factorio is, I mean, I love Factorio. It is not particularly welcoming to new players in the sense that the UI is not so simple, the hotkeys are not super simple, and there's a lot to learn. There's a steep learning curve. There is a campaign mode, and the campaign is basically just a short series of tutorial levels where you're sort of limited in what you can do, and it teaches you a few things about the game. I've heard that's really useful. I skipped it entirely and just jumped into playing the free play mode. But I've heard that it does give you a nice gentle introduction to the game. But yeah, I just like building. All right, so I'm going to start building some science. So do I have anything in any of my blueprint books for science setups? I don't see anything in here that looks like science. I don't know if I ever actually blueprinted any of my science setups. If I didn't, I can always just build them myself. It will be fine. Anything in mid-game? These are some of my crazier blueprints for mid-game, where I have big arrays of various things. A loading station for trains. Set up for my nuclear enrichment program, Covarex, the Covarex process. Train loading, balancers, green circuits. No, I don't have any science. All right, that's cool. I will build science myself then. So first I'll make some space here. Let's chop away some of these dead trees. All right, so now to make red science, I need copper plates and iron gear wheels. They take 5 seconds to make, or 5 time units. It's not really seconds once you get them into assemblers that don't have a crafting speed of 1, but they take 5 time units to make, and every 5 time units they're going to need 1 copper plate and 1 iron gear wheel. So copper plates I have on the bus. Iron gear wheels take half a second to make 1 iron gear wheel. So in 5 seconds, this will make 10 iron gear wheels. And in 5 seconds, I'm only going to need 5. So I only need one iron gear wheel assembly to actually serve 10 of these machines. So I might actually double it up and go for 2 science per tick, per time unit. Not per tick, it's per second, theoretically. So if I had 10 assemblers for Science Pack 1, they could be served by 1 iron gear wheel assembler, and then I just need a bunch of copper, so that's fine. So what we'll do is I'll leave some space here, just at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a couple for a good measure. So I'll put the first one right there. I want to leave space in between these to be able to fit roboports, because once I get my robots up and running, I want to have roboports all over my base so they can cover everything around the base. Probably get more green circuits, actually. I built the green circuit stuff pretty far back from the bus. I could probably squeeze in more green circuits here, but I don't want to build too many green circuits here. This is not where I want my green circuit assembly to be long term. All right, so now I want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 assemblers for red science. So this is going to be gear wheels. This is going to be red science. Copy and paste this all along. All right, so what I am going to want to have is I'm going to want to have this guy. I'll probably share one line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this, and like this, and like this. Oh, no, can't do it that way. Gotta go one more down. Just still leave some space in here for a roboport. So here, I'm gonna have this guy putting out onto this belt. I may actually need to have 2 of them to keep up, because I don't have fast inserters up and running yet. So I'll do 2 of these. They'll end up on that side of the belt. Then the other side of the belt, I'll have copper coming in. That'll hit that side of the belt. And then like this. Yep, that's right. And that'll run all the way along here. And then I'll output all of the science on the other side of the belt. So that'll do, hopefully, I don't even know if I'm going to be using this last section of the bus as a bus here, so I'll have the science going onto the bus over here for now. Again, I don't want this to end up being a big main bus base, so that should be fine. So grab this all the way along here, and I'll output all over here. And a red belt can hold 14.4 items total, 7.2 items per side. No, 13.3 items total, which is 6 point something items per side. So I'm going to need to split this somewhere, because otherwise we're going to run out of space. Whoops. Rotate. There. That ought to do it. I actually probably want to do this a little bit differently. I want to go this way. There are weird. This is one of those weird things that you only learn by playing Factorio way too much. Placing items on curves and taking items away from curves can actually mess with throughput, because there's actually less space on a curve to place an item, and the inside lane of a curve moves faster than the outside lane and so on, it's a lot easier to just drop straight onto a straight piece of belt. All right, so got that going. So that's going to output there. So now I just need iron coming in for this guy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have iron actually coming in this way. I'm going to have it do a little squirrely up like that. And this I'm going to have bridging that gap there. So my science is going to come on out here. And one more piece right here. Oops. Actually, I don't even need to have that coming up that far, actually. Now that I think about it, I can just do that. And just literally feed in the iron like that. So then I can have it coming this way. So let's drag these guys up. And so we're going to want, let's see, I'm going to pull from the third line of the copper bus here. Put that right there. Perfect. Oh, no, not perfect. That was kind of dumb of me. I need to actually leave space for these other lines that are going to come up here. Do I have to build each tile of those? Oh yeah, the conveyor belts that I'm laying. Yeah, these are also have to be built. So in the early game, in a normal playthrough, when you're not going for the lazy bastard achievement like I am, you'd that's something that you'd probably build in hand a lot. But the conveyor belts in this game, I have an assembly going. I had an assembly going down in my little starter base, and I now have an assembly going up here in the mall. So I have, all of these. I currently have 429, or 529, because the tool belt is it's not just a shortcut to here. It's actually space, inventory space. Yeah, so I have a little assembly up here that builds me conveyor belts and then pops them in this wooden chest here. So we should get some copper coming along this line now. I think after this assembly here, I'm going to have to balance the copper and then probably leave one of the lines behind, because I think I'll have used up enough copper off of there that we won't have 4 lines anymore anyway. Is the copper coming? Oh yeah, here comes the copper. Slow belts. I need to get to red belts as soon as it's feasible to do so. All right, and here I think I'm also going to come off of the. Oh yeah, I've already done a little rebalance here, but I am going to come off of the second line here. So this guy right here. Let's see. There. There. Line that up right here. There. Get that going there. Get this going here. So I've got that flowing there, and then that will output right there. That'll come through here, and then I'll have my red science flowing there. So now I just need power, I think. I think power should do it. put one right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. And then line this up over here. Little autosave there, that's fine. There we go. So now we should have enough flowing on here that it should get all of these, once we build up enough of these, oh, you know what? That's not going to do it quite yet, because I need to crank up the amount of iron that's coming into this assembler to get it operating at full speed. Really need fast assemblers to get this going as fast as it possibly can, but at very least that will help a little bit. Yeah, so this assembler here is probably not going to get all 10 of them working yet. I'm going to need fast assemblers right here to because they have a faster swing speed, so they'll feed this guy quicker, which means we won't have any downtime getting it loaded and getting these guys out of here. But for the time being, we'll get a few of these going. That'll be fine. And we've got some red science going. So now, next we want to get some green science on the go. And then I'll plop down my labs, a new lab setup up here somewhere. I'll probably go with sort of just a little starter-based daisy-chained lab setup. And then later on, I might do something with a loop feeding the labs instead. So, what I want to do is green science. So green science takes transport belts and inserters, and they take 6 seconds apiece. And so transport belts take iron plates and iron gear wheels to make 2 in half a second. So in 6 seconds, we'll get 12 transport belts. And then inserters need 1 electronic circuit, 1 iron gear wheel, and 1 iron plate in half a second. So in 6 seconds, we'll get 6 of those. So we'll want to have 2 inserter assemblers, 1 transport belt assembler, and 12 science pack assemblers. Yes, that should work out okay. So, and we'll need to feed... Oh, we need... Yeah, that's right. So to feed this, we need an iron gear wheel manufacturer. To feed this, we need an iron gear wheel manufacturer. So we're probably going to need 2 iron gear wheel manufacturers. So, grab this. Now let's leave some space. Yeah, it does. Trying to work out these ratios does get a little bit tricky. There are websites that sort of do all the math for you, but I try to force myself to do the math sometimes just to keep my brain functioning. So I have my gear wheels right here. They're going to receive iron right here. And then we're going to output those gear wheels onto another line. And that will... Oh, let's clear some trees. So that's going to feed into 1 transport belt thing, 2 inserter things. So we've got transport belts. Actually, what I'm going to want to do here, I think, is do something like, oops, this. This is going to be transport belts. This is going to be inserters. That's going to be inserters. So here we're going to feed iron, iron. Going to need to continue this on down the line. Iron, iron, iron. I think these take iron. And then we're going to have those coming out on here. We're going to have green circuits coming out here. And we're going to need some long-handed inserters feeding the green circuits in here. I'm going to need these guys feeding these in here. I think we need something like that. And then we can have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 assemblers for green science. Some nice lime soda for our scientists. And so these will take the inserters and the transport belts. Oh, right, I need to output this stuff somewhere, though. Warps. That's not going to work. Oh, no, it could work. Oh, no, but I won't get enough speed. I'll make it work. It's not ideal, but I'll probably end up rebuilding this little assembly here at some point anyway. So I can do something like this, and then I can output all of these ingredients here, and then I'm going to want this to wind up on the inside. There we go. That'll kind of sort of do it. Again, not an ideal setup, but it'll do for now. I may want to rebuild this later on. So, oh, wait, no. This is also going to have problems because I can't get power poles in here. So I can get one right here, but then I'm going to need... I'm not going to be able to cover those things, so I'm not going to be able to do this in the best possible way. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Alright, well, take that out of there. Yeah, that's fine. This is not going to be the most efficient green circuit setup. Once I get medium power poles, then I can sort of rework this a little bit. And things will be better. Life will be better. Oops. And then we will output green science onto here. And we're going to do something like this. Got red science on one side of the belt, green science on the other side of the belt. So and we'll get this going. Move this one in just a touch. All right, so now we just need to hook up our raw materials. So we've got iron is going to be coming in on this line, and we're going to have green circuits coming in on this line. So hop over that line, hop over that line, hop over that line, hop over that line. Ah, keep standing too far away. Hop over that line. There we go. So now I'm going to have this one coming from the third line, sorry. Leave some space there, space there. All right, so we got iron flowing on that line. And then we just need green circuits on this line from our shrimpy little temporary green circuit place. So green circuits are right here. So what we're going to do is, this is really not the best way to do green circuits, but we'll get there. Eventually, we will get there. Here to here. There we go. We've got green circuits flowing. So that should get the inserters flowing. Yep, they're flowing on the line. And that should get green science churning away. Oh, the little, the two-space tunnel. So you're talking about this guy right here? That's a splitter. So splitters are used for two things. It can split a line into two lines. It can also combine two lines into one. So for example, if I took a splitter and put it right here, and then had one line coming out, it will take evenly from the two lines that go into it as it comes out. If I had two lines in and two lines out, it basically just balances those two lines. And so you can use those to do interesting things like these guys down here. So this is a four-way balancer, or I have a sort of a better example down here. Down here at the start of the bus, we have, wow, this bus is actually a lot longer than I thought it was. We have a four-way balancer, so this takes four inputs, puts out four outputs. But if the inputs are not all full, for example, or not all the outputs are moving, it will evenly spread all of the inputs across all of the outputs. So then you can trust that you will have equal use of your raw materials and an even distribution across the lines where you're using those raw materials. Sorry? Sure. All right, so we've got green science flowing on the line. We're a little short on these assemblers at the moment. Why is that? Why are they not working? Because they're not getting enough gear wheels. Oh, that's again because I'm not. That's because I'm not feeding enough materials here, and I'm not. Oh, I'm all out of inserters. Let's go shopping. Oh, hey, this guy right here needs some power. Let's go shopping. We'll go to the mall. Oh, hey, I have some Fast inserters. Yes, give me those, please. I would love to start using some fast inserters in appropriate places. So right here, for example, I can actually start switching to the fast inserters. And that will get us moving much faster. That'll get things flowing along much better, and we should start seeing a bit more green science being made because we'll have a higher density of these things coming down. All my power is coming from the steam power down, down by Baby Elephant Lake. Yeah, so if I click on this pole here, you can see how much I'm producing, how much satisfaction I have. So this is one of the most confusing displays in the game, but basically this is a good thing because production goes up based on how much is being drawn. So the satisfaction bar is how much power I'm trying to draw. Production is generally an idea of how hard my existing infrastructure is working to fill up this satisfaction bar. So because this isn't quite hitting the peak, the top here, it means we're good. But I am going to have to expand it soon because you can see this production is getting close to the top when it peaks. So once I set up all these labs going, I'm probably going to need more power. So that's definitely something to think about because labs do take up a decent amount of power. You can see the consumption right now. My assembly machine 2s are taking up the most, and then miners are next. These inserters are actually, I have 419 going, and it still isn't using that much. When production doesn't meet demand for the electric grid, then things will start to slow down. So what will happen is you start kind of getting brownouts. So things like inserters, assemblers, miners, they'll all start to work more slowly than they otherwise would. Eventually, you can end up in situations where, because things are moving so slowly, you also have a hard time bootstrapping your power back into something reasonable again, which can be a bit of a pain to deal with. And then if production, if consumption far exceeds production, eventually stuff will just kind of shut down entirely. Your factory kind of comes to a grinds to a halt, and you have to bootstrap it up again. Generally speaking, I haven't had that happen too much. I have had some brownouts here and there. One of the things that I want to do in this game, once I get enough of them all going so that I'm producing everything that I could possibly need, I want to set up some power structures down here by not power structures, sorry. Once I get my real power structure set up over here to the west of Baby Elephant Lake, I'll have sort of a lot of coal power and some nuclear power being generated over here. I'll have some coal power, this starter coal power still being generated down here. I want to actually put some power switches and accumulators in between the power and the stuff that's using the power. So what that will do is it will allow me to set circuit conditions on it. So I can basically hook up a wire to the accumulator, hook up a wire to the power switch, and I can actually, through a series of combinators, I can build a little a latch, essentially, like an RS or an SR latch, which lets me say, okay, if the accumulator's charge ever drops below 10%, then I want you to turn off this power switch, and then have another condition that says, if power in the accumulator goes above 90%, turn the power switch back on. So what I can do then is effectively I can have a dedicated power line going straight up to my coal mining, so that my coal miners will always keep operating even if the power gets low. If the power gets low, it'll shut off the rest of the factory, but these coal miners up here will continue to churn away, continue to spit out coal onto the line so that we can get the power up and running again. Because, yeah, you can get into a situation where if the local power runs out, then your miners will stop mining to produce coal. So then you don't have any coal on your line, so then you can't get the power up and running anymore either. And that's a big mess. As I said, I've never really run into that before because I ran into something similar, though, with nuclear power. I had a kind of a similar situation where, in this case, nuclear power was being choked by too much uranium-238, not enough uranium-235. And so I wasn't able to make fuel cells because my whole setup was just blocked. And yeah, the biters come and you embrace your fate. That's kind of what happened to me when my nuclear power got blocked off. I also got attacked by biters at the same time, and none of my laser turrets were working anymore because I didn't have any power. So they did quite a lot of damage. I did manage to fend them off and then get power bootstrapped again by I basically handcrafted some stuff and like unblocked my nuclear power generation to sort of fix the problem, but it was a little tricky. All right, so what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I need to make some more boilers, I think. Let's come on down here. What do I want here? Or not boilers, steam engines. Oh, I need pipes for that and gear wheels. Okay, pipes and gear wheels. Let's see here. Oh geez, stop that. No, that's quite enough. Quite enough of that. All right. So, I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put this right here. Yeah, just turn the hand crank to get things going. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what it felt like. Oh, I need more wooden crates. I'll just steal this one. I don't really need this assembly here anymore because I have that going up in the mall now. But I am going to need some pipes being generated. Oh, no. So I also need this being made here. So what I need is one of these right here, one of these right here. And I'm going to change this recipe to be pipes. Put those in a box. Put that box in another box, and then I'll mail that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer. Or to save on postage, I'll just poison him with this. Grab this, grab this, grab this. Drop some stuff in there. There we go. Oops. All right, so we'll get our new steam engines up and running here. I'm going to need some burner inserters as well. Let's run this down along the line. So yeah, so I use burner inserters to feed this for again the same reason with the need to sometimes bootstrap to get over a power outage. Burner inserters, they're not as energy efficient as electric inserters in terms of they use up coal to power themselves, and they use up coal at a rate faster than the equivalent energy for a regular inserter. But the nice thing is because they there we go. because they don't require electricity, if you end up in a sort of a power spiral, so to speak, power death spiral, then they will be able to keep running once you have coal flowing to them again. So it gets things can get things moving again, which is nice. So how's this doing? Oh yeah, now we're doing great on power. So back to our science setup. All right. So we've got all kinds of red and green science packs flowing on here. So now we're going to set up some labs. So here's the way I like to do labs. I'm going to give myself some space here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this, and I'm going to leave space in between for inserters, because labs can do this wonderful thing where they can take from other labs and spread the science packs around. So I've got my 10 labs here for now, so I think I'm just going to do 2 rows of 5 to start out with, but I'm going to set them up in such a way that one lab will always be able to work at least if the right science packs are coming in. I'm going to make this lab way over here. So basically they're all going to daisy chain towards that lab. And so I'm going to have one type of science flowing in on this side, or two belts flowing in on this side, so we can have 2 types of science flowing in there, and then 2 belts flowing in on this side, so we can have 2 types of science flowing in there. And if we have 1 type of science on each side of the belt, then that means we can support up to 8 types of science, and there's only 7 types of science in the game, so that way we are all set. We can always feed our science into this array of labs. This probably won't be our final array of labs. Later on, I'll probably set up something bigger, and it'll probably have science brought in by train, science packs, I mean, or, you know, soda for our scientists, or whatever you want to call it. But let's get that running. Get that running, get that running. Whoops, missed one right there. Right there, good. All right, and so now I'm gonna put some lights down over here. And now I can actually start some research. So, what do I want to get next? Engines are very cool. They let me get pumps and engine units, which are going to be necessary for trains. I think, though, I'm going to want the advanced material processing sooner rather than later, as that is very useful. It gives me steel furnaces, which then lets me increase the rate at which I smelt stuff by a lot, so then I can get a lot more useful stuff online. Although logistics is very useful too, but that uses a lot of science packs as well. Yeah, all the same. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that one first. It's going to take a while, but so there we go. All the labs are getting up and running now. I might as well go pick up that other lab that I have down at my starter base, because it's not receiving any green science, so it's going to be pretty useless for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to go grab that, and in the meantime, or not in the meantime, sorry, after I'm done that, I think then I'm going to go and start setting up my steel setup. Okay, so I'll grab these guys out of here. Grab that, this, and this. And this one lone little power setup, my bootstrap power setup. Guess I'll just leave that there. It's not harming anyone. Pick this up because I have lamps being made at the mall now. I'll pick this up. The wind shifts. You know, I've never really noticed that. I'm not sure if the wind shifts around or not. To be honest, I've always just sort of assumed that it went out in a radius, but you might be right. I've never really paid a whole lot of attention to that. Pick up some of these power poles. This guy right here. I don't need this right here. Smoke coming out of those plants used to go northwest. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it could be. If I turn on my pollution cloud, yeah, I mean, it could be that it actually affects what direction it goes in. I do know there are other things that affect pollution, like trees will, for example, not block pollution, but they will slow the spread of pollution across the forest. But conversely, pollution will also kill the forest over time. So like these trees over here, right beside these coal plants, if I run these for long enough, these trees will start to die and disappear. Yeah, there are definitely some interesting little interactions with your factory and the environment. Oh, my inventory is full. Look at that. All right, well, I'm gonna go drop some of this over in some of these smelters here. And there we are. I have some assembling machine ones. I'm going to need to drop those somewhere as well. Nope, don't need that. This is the only place I'm actually... No. Yeah, this is... I don't have stone hooked up in the mall yet, so I'm not actually producing these stone furnaces anywhere at the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get stone hooked up in the mall too. Maybe I should do that before I do steel. I think that's a good idea, because I really do need some stone. Oh, I don't have the space in my inventory for this big bunch of stone here. Maybe what I should do is go drop off a bunch of this copper and iron in the mall, or in something that uses them. Make some space in my inventory. Alright, so what needs copper? Or what needs iron? Iron can go into these guys. They're always hungry for iron. Nothing in the mall uses copper yet. There are things that do need copper in the mall, but... Oh, I've got some science packs here. Feeding some more science packs over here. Eventually I'll grab another couple of labs, and I'll probably expand this up to about 20 labs, and then that's where it'll sit until I set up a more permanent lab setup. Lots of things are backed up right now, which is okay, but eventually I want to get production flowing smoothly again. Alright, so we've got all of this stone over here. Let's chop down the stone rock. Found some stone miners. Some of this stone I'm probably going to want to redirect for making stone bricks. But for the time being, I should have run some power up here when I came up here. Oh well. We'll do that now. Uranium glows by night, taunting me. Because I can't actually get uranium up and running yet. Okay, so now we've got some stone. So as I said, some of this is going to go towards stone bricks. For the time being, I'm just going to do something like this. Just shove it all onto one line. Boop, 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 boop. And I think this was where I was going to end up having stone, probably like stone, oops, one more over. So probably like stone bricks, maybe 2 lines of steel coming over here, because I got iron across here, copper, electric circuits, green circuits, and then yeah, like stone bricks, 2 lines of steel. That seems like it would make sense. So okay, so we've got fast belts now. So now let's get advanced material processing. We're going to want that for sure. Oh, out of belts. Out of belts. Yeah, the science finishing can take you by surprise if you're not prepared for it. Alright, so let's get this going on up here. And now we've got stone. So that'll start feeding this, which in turn will start filling this up with some stone furnaces. So then we'll have somewhere to grab stone furnaces from. Now that we've unlocked it, I would like to get red belts hooked up. Red transport belts, which are faster, and the undergrounds reach farther, and they're better in basically every way. Let's clean those up. So we can put that right there, that right there, that right there. Get that going, that going, and that going. That one. I'll put down a box here, a box here, a box here, 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 here. I don't want to limit these, so 2 stacks of that, full sheet of that, 2 stacks of that. And we need power. This is where it'd be nice to have the medium electric poles to actually cover some of this. That's okay. All right, now we're getting the faster belts. The faster splitters, the faster undergrounds. Somewhere over here, I think, in this mall, I was producing... I might need to replace the mall to get some of the other options to show up. And once we finish advanced material processing, I'll plop that again. Get some stone furnaces. Oh, I have lots of stone here. So let's go ahead and load that up. I can do, I can also do this, load all that in there. So we'll use the stone from here first before we use stone off the line. Or we'll use it faster than we use stone off the line. Use up that excess. Wow, I've got a lot of power poles in that box. Okay. So, time for steel processing. Now, do I have a good steel, early game steel... Oop. What do we have here? Concrete? No, that's not what I want next. I want electric energy distribution. Give me the medium and big electric poles. Oh, no, you know what I want. That's not what I want at all. I want military 2 so I can start making some grenades. That'll finish very quickly, and then I'll be able to set up a grenade assembly. And actually, I'm going to do that pretty much right away, I think. It's just going to be a little thing off to the side. Not going to bother putting it in the mall. I'm just going to come right down here. I'm going to have probably a couple of miners mining me some coal. Just like, whoops. There we go. Now I want the electric energy distribution. So I'm going to have a couple of these guys right here. I'm going to have one of these right here. I'm going to have that right there. I actually don't want that there. I want this down here. Right here. Ah. Wrong positioning. Oh well. Whatever. Whatever. Oops. Okay. So, now I can just go boop, boop, and get some power run over here. And grenades. And put a box down right here. And drop them in the box. I don't need... Yeah, I don't need more than 4 stacks of grenades. I'll let those build up for a while before I take any. But I am going to need them soon because I'm going to have some forestry work to do. So yeah, so I'm going to want to tap this patch right here and this patch down here and use them for steel, because steel takes 5 iron plates per, 5 iron plates per 1 steel plate, and iron takes an iron ore, so basically it's 5 iron ore to make 1 steel plate. So you need quite a lot of iron. And I think, where's my steel setup? I started to look at the steel setup, whether or not I had a steel setup. There it is. Steel smelting from ore. Yeah, so let's see. Oops, I just pulled that out of the book. It's not what I wanted to do. Put that back in the book. Grab the book. Steel smelting from ore. All right, so I'm going to set this up over here somewhere. And then I'm going to... how close do I want to have it? Probably right about over here. It'll be fine. And I'm going to get that coming down this way. I have at least 4 of them. I may end up with more, but I'll start with that many. So, first thing to do, start laying belts. Now the other thing we're going to need here is coal. So I'll probably need to ship some coal up from Coley the fish. So this is where the steel comes out, and then we join it on this line over here. And then we've got to have coal coming up this way, and it gets split twice. It gets split once to go to the outer miners, or the outer smelters, and once to go to the inner smelters. So we've got this coming here, and then for this one, it's going to come right on up here. Technically, it goes like this, I guess. Because if I want to have more, yeah, I might end up having more steel smelters up here too if my steel production is not up to snuff. Let's get that going there, that going there. Good. All right, so now I'll put down these guys first. So. Now, this is the other thing about this particular setup, is that getting this setup going in the first place gets tricky because you need medium electric poles to reach out to these guys out here. So I'm only going to be able to get some of these up and running to begin with, because I'm going to need to do some tricky things with the poles. All right, what do I want to get next? Probably want to get... yeah, I'll be getting medium poles soon, but the thing is you need steel it's one of these weird catch-22s of Factorio. You need steel to make medium electric poles, and I'm setting up a steel processing facility right now. So I mean, I could actually probably the easiest way to do this is if I just do it the lame way for the moment, and I just go boop 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 boop. This is very temporary. Just handcraft some. Yeah, well, exactly. And that's ordinarily that's exactly what you'd do is you would do something like this, grab a little bit of steel, use it to handcraft some medium poles, and then you're all set. But because I cannot do that, okay, that'll have to be enough then, because that's all the coal I have in my inventory right now. Let's get some power brought across here somewhere. Here. 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 Here, and then I'll go here and here. So that's going to make me a bunch of steel. So then I can grab that steel, and then right here, I will plop down one of these, and I need steel, or medium electric poles, and that needs copper plates and steel plates. So I'll go grab some copper plates right here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All right, I got 3 of those. Three more. Takes a long time to produce steel as well. It is a slow process. There we go. We've got 12 poles, which will be enough to sort of get started over here. So these have a wider range, which means that they can cover the stuff, this lineup of inserters that I have over there towards the middle of the array. All these right here, where I have no space in between them to place poles. So now I can, I'm just going to use the regular inserters for this because using the fast is not going to be worth the time right now. All these guys to output the steel onto the lines sometime late game, which will probably not even be during Extra Life. It'll probably be some 30 hours or so into this map, or possibly later. Eventually, I'm probably going to have a giant steel smelting facility. It will be serviced by trains. Trains will bring in iron plates, and then the facility will make steel plates and put them out to a train pickup yard, and then the steel will be brought wherever it needs to go. Everything will sort of be in its own area. But for the time being, this will have to do. We have no power here because I haven't actually strung power over to here yet. But that's okay because we also don't have any ore or coal coming in. So, first of all, I'm going to see to the coal. more research. Circuit network. I'm going to build up the circuit network because that's what gives me power switches. It gives me the combinators to do circuit conditions. And that stuff is all very useful. No, actually, I'm going to go lab research speed first so I can actually get some of the science done faster. Not that science is going to be done particularly fast anyway, given the fact that I don't have a huge amount of science production at the moment, but that's okay. All right. Jump over this line. All right, Coley, you're about to get some more mining operation going on. So I'm going to set it up over here so it's out of the way, just in case we need to expand the mining or the coal operation for the other smelter array. We can leave it. Oh, not a lot of miners. Okay. Well, that'll do for now then. This guy going here. All right, so now we've got coal flowing on the line. I'm actually gonna pop in a little lane balancer here. Oops. All right, so we've got that much going there. So now we need, now I need to go pick up more miners so that I can actually set up the mining over there. For the time being, I'm going to string some of these across. That will make me a bunch of medium electric poles, which will be nice. Just leave it at that. There's my miners. 100 electric mining drills. Excellent. I'm gonna go over, set up this steel setup, and then I think it'll be time for another break because I've been playing pretty well non-stop Factorio for about 3 hours. Doesn't really feel like that long, but that is the case. So I think I will give my eyes a little break from sitting so close to the monitor. I'll probably play another game, but it might be something where I can lean back a little bit more, maybe some Darksiders War Mastered Edition or something like that. All this foliage is making it a little bit difficult to tell where the edge of this particular patch is. Yeah, that's not ideal. All right. Lots and lots of miners going across right here. Am I gonna fill up this patch? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna run out of miners before I get there. Yep. That's 100 miners right there. Yowzers. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think that fills up a yellow belt. It won't be enough to fill up a red belt when I get red belts running for some of this stuff, but I think that's enough to fill up a yellow belt. So I'm going to say that that's enough for one of this array. And get some power poles strung over here. Alright, so we got some coming along the line here now. And I'm out of belts. This should, I'm going to need more belts to belt this over here. Let's grab some red belts, and red undergrounds, and red splitters. Doing lots of stuff in the red belts now. These should also all be fast inserters here, because these guys manufacture so quickly. You need fast inserters to get the most out of them. Okay, next I want to get... Yeah, I'm going to get engines, because that leads us to locomotives. Also to cars, but not as interested in cars at the moment as I am in trains. Alright, here we go. We have steel coming in on the line. So let's put this here. This here. Put this here. So now reds are our new default. Red is the new yellow. All right. so I'm going to need to build all of these other steel assemblies at some point. But for now, I think I'm going to... Oops. All right, let's get railway. Start getting railway researched. For now, I think I'm going to leave it at 1 steel belt. Because, yeah, I'm going to need lots and lots more steel, but that's going to take a while. All right, I'm going to grab my 112 grenades right here. And put them down on my belt here. And we will start some deforestation. Be careful around my power poles because I don't want to blow those up. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Out of my way, trees. Go. Lots more space now. Okay, so now I have all kinds of space to run my steel belts over. I don't think this meets government regulations. Well, I've crash landed on this planet, so I am the government here. Yeah, no, I don't get wood from that. Wood in late game is pretty useless. Like, once I set up... The only thing I'm really using wood for now are the wooden power poles and wooden crates. Once I get the pieces set up in my mall to make iron chests or steel chests, and once I get the stuff set up in my mall to make the medium and big power poles, I really won't use wood anymore, ever. Yeah, once I get into sort of mid to late game, I'm perfectly happy to just blow up trees. Once you do get into sort of the mid game, and especially into late game where you have bots, you can actually just have your bots go and harvest trees, and then you get wood from them. So you do still end up getting quite a lot of wood into the late game. Ooh, okay. Automated rail transportation. Give us some train stops. Good. So, let me see. Where's my... Do I have a 4x4 balancer? Yes, I do. 4x4 balancer with red belt. I mean, it doesn't really matter right now because I'm building it myself anyway, but... I'm going to... Nope. I'm going to get this going right here. I don't really need this to be red belt because I have the steel coming in on a yellow belt anyway, and so I'm going to be limited by the throughput of my slowest thing. So that really doesn't matter that I have this as red. It's just I want to start using red for everything because eventually I'm going to come by and turn all of this into red. So the whole thing can spit out its steel faster. And eventually I'll change my whole bus to red belts and so on as well. So, yeah. So, now, I need steel for the mall. And that's going to come in way over here. It's got to come into this belt right here. So, I'm going to want to... these red belts can actually reach red undergrounds can reach 2 spots longer, but the way I have my bus set up, I have it set up in 4s. So, I'm going to jump just 4 for each of these. Here we are. Okay, so I'm going to run 1 line of steel right down here, and that's going to feed the mall. And then the rest of the steel will join the bus at some point, but I don't need it to yet. Oh, I'm going to run right through this oil patch. It would probably be fine, but I don't want to get in its way, because I will probably want to use that at some point. Oh. All right, rail signals. Let's get those. There we go. So now steel is coming out right on over here. So now I can get that running up here, and we've got steel on the line. So now I can run this across right here. Boop. And that's got to go up there. There. Oh yeah, now I can also hook up this guy right here. That's good. All right, so now I want to grab my maul. Nope, that's not in that one. It's in this one. Grab the maul blueprint, and then I want to paste it over the top right here, because that will fill in. Oh no, 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 can't do that. Got to first create a new deconstruction planner, and I'm going to put that down right there. Now I need to make this only get rid of assembly machine 3s. Good. So now I can come along here, and it will only delete assembly machine 3s from here. That gets rid of all of them in the maul. All the ghosts of those assembly machine 3s. So now I can come and replop this guy right here. Line it all up. Good. There we go. So now some of the things I didn't have researched before now show up. And here's some of the stuff that I care about. So those and those. There and there. So these guys are the medium electric poles. These guys are the big electric poles. And get those right there. Get these right here. Probably 4 stacks of each. Should be plenty for the time being. And I need some power. There we go. They get everything they need from that particular line there. So that gets them both going there. Anything else I desperately want to hook up right now? Oh, the steel furnaces would be real nice. Real nice to hook up. Anything else over here I really need to hook up soon? I should start getting some of the train stuff going, but I think I'll leave that for a little bit later. What do I want next? I guess I could build some cars. I'm gonna get the oil processing first, because I am gonna need to do that eventually. Yeah, I should start building railway track and stuff like that. But I think the main thing I'm gonna want right now are these steel furnaces. So steel furnaces. I'm gonna want these guys and these guys. I have no chests. Where do I build iron? Ah, here we go. This is where I build chests. I should get that going too. Steel chests. And let's get this moving along. there, and right there. Okay. Right here you can see I have sort of a side loading coming in over here. I think that might be batteries or something. I forget what's built right here. But at some point, I will care. But that point is not right now. So we want to get this moving over to here, and over to here, and up to here. And grab that one steel chest. And right, so here and here, those are where I build, I think, the requester chest and the active provider chest. And I'm not going to want those, but I'm going to leave those out for now. Yeah, the arms can grab from either half of the track. When they place things onto a track, they'll always place on the far side of the track, but the arms can grab from either side. They decide what to grab based on where they're putting it. So if I just had like a chest or a belt here or whatever, then it would basically, I think, in that case, it would always grab from the inside unless there's nothing left on the inside, then it'll grab from the outside. So it would just fill it up with whatever's on the belt. But because this assembler is here and this assembler is only asking for steel plates, the grabber will only grab steel plates and then put them there. More of this, more of this. Should I get plastics next? Plastics are fun. No, I want the extra tool belt slot for now. All right, so we go here to here, as well as here to here, and then here to here. And then I'm gonna want this little setup right here, and this right here, and this right here. And I'm going to limit that to, let's say, 4 stacks of steel chests. And that will do for now in terms of that. So now I'm going to want one of these guys here. And that will get us some steel chests. So then I can actually start putting stuff in steel chests. So this I probably don't need more than, say, 6 stacks of. I mean, I might want more than 6 stacks, but at the moment I don't want to use up all of the things. So I need stone bricks. So they come in on this line right here. Oh, but I don't have a stone brick assembly yet. That's a good question. There isn't really an advantage to steel chests if I'm going to limit them anyway, other than the fact that, number one, if I want to have something unlimited or with a bigger limit than the wooden chest, then it can have it. And number two, later on, I'm going to replace them all with these passive provider chests, which have the same storage space as the steel chest, but also my logistics bots can come take stuff from it. And if you place a passive provider over the top of a steel chest, it retains its limit, whereas I'm not sure if that happens if you replace a wooden chest with a passive provider. So like once I get passive providers, I can just go around and start dropping them on top of steel chests, and the only thing that will change is now my bots can go grab from that chest and deliver stuff to me. Or likewise for the construction bots, they can grab stuff from the passive provider chests and use it to plop it down elsewhere in the on the map. Some big electric poles, some medium electric poles. Actually, I suppose I can test. I don't have a steel chest. Never mind. Okay, so I need stone bricks. So I suppose I should actually go and set up a single line of smelting for stone bricks. I won't need a lot of stone bricks, so I'm not going to worry too much about going crazy with it. So I probably don't need a long smelting like that, long smelting array. Automobilism. Let's see. Yeah, this short early smelting should do just fine. And go right there. And I'm just going to have the one little array, so I just need something like that. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'll probably be taking a break very shortly anyway. But yeah, I'll be on after supper myself. So see you later. Okay, and I'm going to do this. Build more of this right in here. Get plastics next. Okay, well, I don't know if anybody's actually in the stream right now, but I'm going to take a little break, have some supper, give my eyes a little break as well. I might hop on and play a different game for a little while after supper, but then I will probably be back for more Factorio after that. Thanks anybody who's happens to be watching right now, and I will see you later.